He obviously assumed that that's the kind of girl I was, maybe. Because I was a playmate. I don't know. But Donald Trump, the President of the United States, and Karen McDougal had an affair that occurred for over a decade. And suddenly Karen decides to confirm why she left the president, what drove Karen away from Trump. 17 years ago, how did she navigate their complex relationship? Join us as we uncover the truth behind this intriguing story and explore the events that shaped their past. A Secret Romance in November 2016. A shocking story made headlines. The Wall Street Journal reported that Karen McDougal, a former Playboy model, had once confided in a friend about an alleged affair with Donald Trump. She claimed their relationship lasted nearly a year, between 2006 and 2007. Her friend later shared handwritten notes about these events with journalist Ronan Farrow, bringing the affair into the public eye. Karen McDougal and Donald Trump first met in June 2006 at a glamorous party at the Playboy Mansion, hosted by Hugh Hefner. At the time, Trump was already a household name, an influential businessman and the face of The Apprentice McDougal, who had been named Playmate of the Year, was at the party as part of her role, dressed in a bikini and a wrap she was helping with the event. When Trump noticed her from that moment, their connection grew quickly. Trump, known for his charm, began reaching out to MC Dougal regularly. She recalled that their relationship escalated fast, and they became intimate on their first date over time. Trump introduced her to some of his family members, making her feel like she was a real part of his life. He even promised to buy her an apartment in New York. Despite his grand promises, McDougal said Trump was extremely cautious about keeping their affair a secret. He never left behind physical proof of their connection. Instead of covering her travel costs directly, she claimed he asked her to pay for her flights and hotels herself, later reimbursing her in cash. McDougal alleged that she visited Trump multiple times during their time together. She described how he would arrange for her to enter Trump Tower through a private entrance, ensuring they wouldn't be seen together one day. She asked him if he was worried that their secret might come out, according to her. Trump brushed off the concern, telling her she had nothing to worry about. One of the most surprising details she revealed was that after their first intimate encounter, Trump reportedly tried to give her money. She said she was insulted and refused, making it clear that she did not see their relationship that way. Still, despite this awkward moment, their affair continued for nearly a year in March 2018. McDougal sat down for a deeply personal interview with CNN. She opened up about the affair, sharing how she had developed real feelings for Trump. At the time, she believed he cared about her too. Her emotional confession only fueled the media frenzy surrounding the scandal. MC Dougal's claims resurfaced multiple times, particularly as Trump faced legal battles when writer Eugene Carroll successfully sued Trump for sexual misconduct. McDougal revisited her own allegations in an interview with the Daily Mail. While Trump has always denied having an affair with her, her story remains one of the many controversies tied to his past. To better understand the depth of this affair, it is paramount we know who Karen is. Let's find out. Karen McDougal. Karen McDougal hails from Merrillville, Indiana, a small community close to Gary. She was raised in a tight-knit household, alongside 3 older siblings, Bob, Dave, and Jeff, and a younger sister named Tina. Being the oldest daughter, she had a special connection with her brothers and sister. Karen's mother, Carol, was a key figure in her upbringing. And after Carol got remarried, the family moved to Sawyer, Michigan. Karen was only 9 years old when they made the move, and Michigan became her home. For the duration of her formative years, McDougal developed a passion for dancing at a young age and pursued lessons in tap and ballet. envisioning a future as a professional ballerina. Her commitment and elegant dancing skills were noticeable. But as she matured, her fascination with other interests outside the ballet realm grew. In school, McDougal was a versatile student who showed excellence in various areas. She went to River Valley High School, where she participated in a range of activities, including cheerleading, marching band, and color guard McDougal also actively participated in sports like volleyball and softball, demonstrating her athletic abilities. Additionally, she displayed her musical prowess by playing the clarinet and winning the Michigan State Championship for 4 consecutive years among her peers. She was known as Barbie for her cheerful demeanor and approachable attitude. She was admired for her natural beauty and captivated others with her graceful presence. In 1989, following her high school graduation, McDougal pursued further studies at Fair State University in Big Rapids, Michigan. Her academic focus was on elementary education, as she aspired to have a career as a teacher. MC Dougal's strong affection for children and her enthusiasm for acquiring knowledge led her to choose this path. After completing 2 years of college, her life took a different turn. She decided to relocate to a suburb of Detroit and started her career as a pre-kindergarten teacher. Working with young children brought immense happiness to her, and she dreamed of establishing her own educational center. Someday during her time as a teacher, McDougal was persuaded to participate in a swimsuit contest. Despite not having any prior interest in modeling, she opted to take a chance. This choice had a lasting impact on her life. McDougal's attractiveness, self-assurance, and ability to command attention led her to victory in the contest, kickstarting her journey as a glamorous swimsuit model. The modeling industry was captivated by her striking appearance and charm, resulting in numerous chances for her before she knew it. She was delving into the realms of magazines, promotions, and television. MC Dougal's career took off after she was featured in Playboy. Propelling her into the spotlight of mainstream media, she then went on to enhance her professional endeavors by being featured on various magazine covers and establishing herself as a popular fitness model. Her groundbreaking achievement of being the inaugural female cover model for Men's Fitness magazine demonstrated that she was not only a glamorous figure, but also a symbol of resilience and wellness. In addition to her modeling career, MC Dougal also ventured into the world of acting. She made her acting debut in 2001 with The Arena, a movie that was released straight to video, but went on to develop a loyal fan base. MC Dougal's appearance in the film even led to the development of a fantasy art statue and a limited edition doll, solidifying her impact on popular culture. Even though she is well known, MC Dougal has mostly kept her personal life private. She has a strong interest in staying fit and leads a dynamic lifestyle. Her enthusiasm for ballet has persisted, and she has remained committed to staying active and healthy throughout the years. MC Dougal has a strong passion for motorcycles and cars, in addition to her commitment to fitness. Throughout the years, she has accumulated a number of vehicles and loves the excitement of taking them out on the highway. MC Dougal's Playboy journey. Karen McDougal's rise began when a sharp-eyed Playboy photographer, David Macy, spotted her. She had an effortless charm, a warm smile, and a confidence that made her stand out. It wasn't long before Playboy offered her a trial photo shoot at their Studio West. Excited by the opportunity, she eagerly accepted. The moment MC Dougal stepped in front of the camera, she left a lasting impression. Her natural ease and striking presence made her unforgettable. Playboy wasted no time inviting her back for an extended shoot. That decision changed her life forever. In December 1997, she was featured as Miss December, officially launching her career as a Playboy playmate. MC Dougal's debut in Playboy wasn't just another magazine spread. It was special legendary photographers Richard Fegley and Stephen Wader captured her in a breathtaking winter-themed shoot, posing in the snowy fields of Park City, Utah. She stood out like a warm glow against the icy backdrop. Her radiant beauty, combined with the magical winter scenery, made the photos unforgettable. Playboy fans loved it, and soon after, her Playmate profile aired on Playboy TV, making her even more popular. Her growing fan base adored her, and it wasn't long before she received the biggest honor a Playmate could achieve, in May 1998. At a grand luncheon at the Playboy Mansion, it was officially announced Karen McDougal had been chosen as Playmate of the Year, PMOY, for 1998. The news was met with excitement, and McDougal's career reached new heights. Becoming Playmate of the Year came with exciting rewards, along with the title. McDougal received $100,000 cash prize and a stunning silver Shelby Series 1 convertible. The car was personalized with a Michigan license plate that read PMOY98, making the moment even more special. Her official Playmate of the Year spread was published in the July 1998 issue of Playboy, where she also graced the cover this time. Instead of the icy winter landscape, her photo shoot took place on the tropical beaches of St. Lucia. The shift from snow-covered fields to sunny shores showcased her versatility as a model, proving she could shine in any setting. McDougal's charm and beauty weren't just limited to magazine pages. She became a familiar face in various Playboy productions, including the Playmate of the Year video centerfold. This special video gave fans a behind-the-scenes look at her life. It included interviews where she humorously pointed out what she considered her flaws, like her quirky smile, her slightly misaligned pinky fingers, a family trait, and what she jokingly called her unattractive feet. These little details only made her more relatable and likable. One of the most memorable parts of her PMOY video was a fun segment inspired by VH1's Pop-Up Video, a popular show at the time. It included playful facts about McDougal and Playboy, adding an interactive and entertaining twist. She also made a special guest appearance on The Magic Hour, where she wowed the audience by effortlessly performing a straddle split live on TV. Her incredible flexibility and grace made her even more unforgettable, solidifying her status as one of the most popular playmates of her time. Even after her Playmate of the Year reign ended, McDougal remained closely connected to Playboy in a 2002 online chat. She mentioned that she would be open to modeling for the magazine again. If the opportunity ever came up, it was clear that she still loved the world that had made her famous. Karen had an affair with Trump, which allegedly lasted for 10 months. But was it a secret for a long while? What strings were pulled? Let's dive into it, the Amy deal, as the 2016 presidential election approached. Powerful people were working behind the scenes to bury damaging stories. One of those stories belonged to Karen McDougal, a former model. McDougal claimed she had a past relationship with Donald Trump, but instead of letting her speak, a deal was made to keep her quiet. In August 2016, just months before the election, McDougal was reportedly paid $150,000 by American media. Inc. Army, the company that owned the National Enquirer, in exchange. Army secured the exclusive rights to her story, but they never published it. Instead, they used a tactic called catch and kill, where they bought the rights just to ensure the story never saw the light of day, Army publicly stated that the money was for MC Dougal's exclusive life rights, including fitness columns and magazine appearances. However, prosecutors believed the real reason was to protect Trump's campaign from a scandal that could damage his chances of winning the mastermind behind the deal. Was AMI's CEO David Pecker. A longtime Trump supporter in court, Pecker admitted that he believed McDougal's story, if revealed, could embarrass Trump and possibly hurt his campaign. Michael Cohen, Trump's personal lawyer, also played a major role. According to Pecker, Cohen told Army to buy the story, assuring him that the boss, referring to Trump, would pay them back. But in the end, Army was never reimbursed. In September 2016, just 2 months before the election, Pecker and Cohen discussed transferring the rights to McDougal's story to a company controlled by Cohen. The price was set at $125,000. However, Pecker changed his mind. After speaking with his lawyers, he later called Cohen to cancel the deal, which reportedly made Cohen furious. He allegedly warned Pecker that the boss wouldn't be happy. Even though Trump won the presidency, the story did not disappear in November 2016. The Wall Street Journal published an article exposing the hush money payment to McDougal to prevent further fallout. Pecker allegedly made changes to McDougal's contract, ensuring Army kept control over her story and continued to silence her. But McDougal refused to stay quiet. In March 2018, she took legal action against AMY. Claiming she had been misled about the deal, she argued that she was tricked into signing a contract that prevented her from speaking out under public pressure. Army eventually backed down and released her from the agreement, allowing her to share her story freely. Meanwhile, Michael Cohen faced serious consequences for his involvement. In 2018, he pleaded guilty to violating campaign finance laws and was sentenced to 3 years in prison. After serving just over a year behind bars, he was allowed to complete the rest of his sentence under house arrest. Pecker also found himself under scrutiny in March 2018. He reportedly spoke with White House officials, including Hope Hicks and Sarah Huckabee Sanders. They allegedly wanted him to extend MC Dougal's contract to prevent her from going public, when Pecker later mentioned this idea to Trump. He claimed the president was visibly frustrated and annoyed. The AMI deal became a crucial piece in the investigation into Trump's campaign. Finances prosecutors argued that these secret payments weren't just private matters. They were intended to influence public opinion and should have been reported as campaign contributions. Pecker's testimony, combined with Cohen's guilty plea, painted a picture of a coordinated effort to hide damaging information. The case raised bigger questions about media influence money and how far people in power will go to control public perception. Karen McDougal's story wasn't just about an alleged affair. It was about control influence and the struggle for truth. Despite powerful forces trying to silence her, she fought back and won the right to tell her side of the story. Why MC Dougal ended the affair. Karen MC Dougal and Donald Trump initially had an exhilarating romance, which later turned into a responsibility she could no longer bear. Despite the commitments made by Trump, such as purchasing a New York apartment for her, McDougal ultimately chose to distance herself from the situation. From the start, McDougal was aware that she was in a relationship with a man who was already married. Trump and Melania had been married for less than 2 years, and their son Barron was just a few months old as their affair progressed. McDougal felt more and more guilty. She attempted to ignore these emotions, but they never completely faded away. The words spoken by her mother made a significant impact. After sharing with her mother, MC Dougal was reminded of the fact that she was involved with a man who was already married with a new baby. This straightforward yet impactful reminder resonated with her. Despite Trump's efforts to shower her with affection, she couldn't overlook the truth of their situation. she started to view their interaction as what it truly was, an affair that would never have a genuine future. McDougal decided to break things off with Trump, primarily due to his conduct throughout their relationship. She witnessed a side of him that made her feel uneasy. There were claims that he made insensitive remarks, particularly about a black man dating an acquaintance of hers. These comments deeply disturbed her, highlighting an attitude she could not ignore. He did not just disrespect people he barely knew. He went as far as making negative remarks about her mother. This was the moment when MC Dougal had had enough. She was already feeling guilty. And now she witnessed a new facet of Trump that she couldn't overlook. His words caused her pain and made her doubt the character of the person she was. In a relationship with McDougal, had been searching for a means to terminate the relationship, but it proved to be a challenge she was hesitant to cause Trump any emotional distress. Despite their circumstances, nevertheless, a visit from her sister provided her with a moment of clarity to make her decision. While out one evening, MC Dougal encountered a man called Bruce. Their instant bond triggered a realization. For her, she was prepared to make a change. Encountering a new acquaintance provided the motivation she needed to break free from Trump. She understood that she could no longer tolerate the burden of guilt, lies, and inner turmoil. In April 2007, MC Dougal faced a challenging choice to terminate the romance. She reached out to Trump and informed him that she could no longer proceed with their involvement. It went beyond finding a new partner. It was about taking command of her life and finding resolution within herself. Initially, McDougal found the affair thrilling, but eventually she grew disinterested. The need for secrecy, the burden of guilt, and Trump's actions had all affected her ending. The relationship was necessary for her to achieve inner peace. McDougal made a tough choice to terminate the relationship, which turned out to be a significant decision for her. She was immersed in a realm of influence and affluence, but ultimately realized that the emotional strain it imposed was not worth it. In retrospect, she came to understand that, despite the allure of wealth, commitments, and thrill, nothing could compensate for the remorse and internal turmoil she endured. Her journey taught her about the significance of self-esteem, individual principles, and the necessity of making decisions that resonate with one's ethics. Guilt was a reason to break up the relationship. Now, how did the public respond when she opened up? What did the media say? Let's look into it. Facing the backlash. Karen McDougal never expected her personal life to become a national scandal. What was once private suddenly became front-page news, and she found herself at the center of a storm. She never asked for strangers who had never met her, called her names like gold digger, manipulator, liar. They judged her without knowing anything about her heart, her struggles, or her truth. But Karen refused to let the world define her people. Thought they knew her story, but they did not. The media painted her as someone chasing money and fame, twisting her life into a dramatic headline. But Karen knew the truth. She had never been motivated by wealth or power. She had regrets. Yes, but she also knew that no amount of shame could change the past. Instead of drowning in guilt, she focused on what she had learned and how she had grown. The worst part wasn't just the false labels. It was feeling like her entire identity had been erased. She was no longer Karen McDougal, a woman with dreams, struggles, and a heart. She became just the scandal. It hurt, but she refused to let it break. Some people believe she had tried to get money from Trump, but that was never the case. The relationship had been real to her. She hadn't ended it for money, and she never planned to use it for financial gain. The accusations stung because they ignored what really mattered. Her feelings, her choices, and her humanity. Just when she felt completely alone, something unexpected happened. Women began reaching out to her messages, poured in from people who had faced their own regrets, who had made choices they wished they could undo, who carried shame. They did not know how to let go of. They thanked her for speaking out. They told her that hearing her story gave them the courage to face their own. Karen never imagined that her pain could help others. But suddenly she realized that by sharing her truth, she was giving people hope. And that meant everything through it all. Karen discovered something powerful, her own worth. She realized that no relationship, no material possession, and no temporary thrill could fill the emptiness she had once felt. What seemed exciting at first had ultimately brought more sorrow than joy, but she refused to let that define her. She chose to move forward. She accepted that she had made mistakes, but she also knew that mistakes did not make her a bad person. More importantly, she decided that other people's opinions wouldn't shape how she saw herself. She no longer needed approval. She knew who she was if there was one thing she wanted women to take from her story. It was this: self-respect matters. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of the moment. But in the end, the choices we make define us. And she hoped that by telling her truth, she could help someone else find theirs. Melania's silent struggle, ever since the affair became public knowledge, there has been widespread speculation about Melania's emotional state. This revelation added to the existing public scrutiny she was facing as the wife of a polarizing figure. Every detail of her life was subject to scrutiny, including her private anguish, which became a subject of national interest. Despite the turmoil, Melania maintained her poise in the public eye. She refrained from openly criticizing her spouse or directly addressing the infidelity. However, her behavior conveyed a clear message. Melania has always valued her privacy, and this controversy was no different. In contrast to other political spouses who have spoken out about their partner's wrongdoings, she chose to stay quiet when questioned about the scandal. She gave short answers, neither confirming nor denying the allegations. Melania Trump, who holds the roles of Mother and First Lady, dismissed inquiries about President Trump's rumored indiscretions by stating that she is focused on more significant matters. Melania Trump made it clear that she has deep affection for her husband, and their relationship has not suffered from the rumored infidelities. She confirmed that everything is okay. She stated the media tends to make assumptions and spread rumors, which are not always accurate. I have immense strength and a clear understanding of my top priorities, she remarked. There were different opinions about why she chose to remain silent, with some viewing it as a form of self-respect, and others suggesting that she felt powerless in her marriage. Despite the various explanations, her decision to avoid getting involved in public conflict distinguished her from others. Melania chose not to let the scandal define her, instead choosing to concentrate on her duties as First Lady. She remained committed to her projects, with a special emphasis on her efforts to address cyberbullying. Many saw this as contradictory, given her husband's controversial social media presence. Yet she remained resolute in establishing her own mark. She also directed her attention towards her son. Barron sources indicated that she was especially vigilant in safeguarding him from the unfavorable environment surrounding their family. The full scope of Melania's emotions regarding the affair of Trump has yet to be fully understood. Has she pardoned Trump, or did she decide to remain in the marriage for her son and the appearance it presented to the public eye? It is evident that she managed the situation on her terms, without making any public displays of emotion, without giving interviews, and without confirming or denying the rumors, Only she knows if this was a display of strength, a strategic decision, or simply acceptance. Unfortunately, Karen's scandal affair wasn't the only one. There was another. Let's look into the Stormy affair. What was it like, and how wide did it go in the media world? Let's find out. Stormy Daniels affair. Stormy Daniels' alleged relationship with Donald Trump wasn't just a tabloid story. It became a legal and political battle that gripped the nation. What began as a secret meeting in 2006 exploded into lawsuits, public accusations, and a historic criminal case against a former U.S. president. In 2006, Daniels, an adult film star, reportedly had an affair with Trump, who was married to Melania at the time. For years, this alleged encounter remained a well-kept secret, known only to a handful of people. But as Trump's 2016 presidential campaign gained momentum, efforts were allegedly made to keep the story from surfacing. In January 2018, the Wall Street Journal published a bombshell report. Michael Cohen, Trump's longtime personal lawyer, had arranged $130,000 hush money payment to Daniels to prevent her from speaking out before the election. At first, Trump denied knowing anything about the payment. However, court documents and later testimony contradicted his claim. The more details emerged, the more the controversy grew, turning what could have been a forgotten chapter into a full-blown legal war. Once the story was out, Daniels refused to stay silent. She took legal action, seeking to void the non-disclosure agreement, NDA she had signed, so she could publicly share her experience. Her lawsuit made headlines, drawing the attention of the media, legal analysts, and everyday Americans. Some saw her as someone standing up to a powerful man, while others dismissed her claims. Regardless, her case had undeniable political and legal implications. Michael Cohen, once one of Trump's most trusted allies, became a central figure in the scandal. He testified under oath that Trump had personally directed him to make the payment to Daniels to protect his campaign. This admission led to Cohen pleading guilty to violating campaign finance laws. Among other charges, he was sentenced to 3 years in prison, a stunning downfall for a man who had once vowed to take a bullet for Trump. Cohen's testimony made it clear the payment wasn't just a personal matter. It was a calculated move to keep damaging information from voters before the election. Trump, however, denied everything. He insisted there was no affair, and dismissed Daniels' claims as false. He also argued that the payment had nothing to do with his campaign, but evidence showed otherwise. Legal documents revealed that Trump had personally reimbursed Cohen for the $130,000, raising serious questions about whether the payment had broken campaign finance laws. The legal fallout did not stop there. Trump was eventually charged with 34 counts of falsifying business records related to the hush money payments. This marked a historic moment. It was the first time a U.S. president had ever been criminally indicted. Daniels was named a key witness, and her testimony was expected to play a significant role in the case. However, in a surprising turn, a federal judge later dismissed a related lawsuit, ruling that Trump's denial of the affair was simply political exaggeration. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.